Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MLO show. I'm here with David Dale, and I'm your host, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob decided to join us today.
So, I'm checking this out down here, and I look pretty handsome. Never looked so good in my life.
I don't know about that.
So, anyways, today's going to be kind of fun. We're just playing around. It's Halloween, and I know that, oh man, kids are all loaded down on candy. It's going to be a hell of a night.
All hopped up.
Yep. And we're gonna have a guest on today. It's gonna be, his name is Tim Boone.
Timothy Boone.
That's right. So Tim Boone's gonna be on tonight, and Tim is he's one of our newest guys. He's actually going to be it's Virginia, right?
Yes.
Right on, Virginia.
Virginia.
So Tim's going to talk to us about
He's got a lot going on.
He does. Tim's got a whole lot going on. He's down there in bear country. He has, what else? Tell him about Tim Boone. He's got all kinds of stuff going on.
Not look at you with that mask on.
I can't even focus because I'm wearing
either.
this mask. I gotta take it off.
It's crazy.
Uncle
it looks
Bob.
good though. It looks better than what you're born into.
All right, Uncle Bob's gone.
He's been kicked off the show.
I couldn't even focus, man. I'm glad that's off.
Old Tim Boone, he's been a predator hunter for many years. He's actually hosting the Eastern this year, so he's got a lot to talk about there.
And for everyone that doesn't know, the Eastern is a really big deal.
Really big deal.
So I don't want to say something and be wrong. So I'm gonna have
we'll
Tim.
leave it to him.
Yeah, but gonna kind of talk about Tim before we get him on. Tim lives in Virginia. I'm not sure what town, so I don't want. Do you know what town?
I do not.
Okay. Tim lives down in Virginia, and I've always wanted to kill a bear. I mean, that's on my bucket list.
Mine as well.
A bear hunt is where it's at. Tim kind of talked like he might be able to put that into reality. So I already love the guy.
Right.
I already love the guy. So we're going to call Tim in, and we're just going to get this started. Think of some good questions, all right?
Yeah.
All
Full
right.
of them. Full of good questions.
Tim Boone, I hope he's ready. He's probably
coyote hunting.
He's probably tuned in. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Tim Boone, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, bud. Watching Westerns. How about you?
Watching Westerns.
Yeah. Billy Kids.
Oh, there you go. So, hey, man, we're actually live right now on the MLO show. So,
All right.
hope you're excited.
Yeah.
Don't be too nervous. We only have 12 viewers. So we tried to.
Oh.
First off, I want to ask you something. What part of Virginia do you live in? Because I totally bombed that in your intro here.
I'm in Franklin County, Virginia, moonshine capital of the world.
Moonshine capital of the world.
Already.
How do we get in on that?
I don't know. You got to be trusted. You got to be known in the area.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to. Hopefully, I know someone that's trusted in the area.
That's right.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I can get in on that end. So
That's what we're known for is our moonshine. It's called hand sanitizer in 2020, though.
hand sanitizer. Hey, man, there's been a shortage, so whatever's
Whatever
clever.
works.
Right.
So, man, just tell me about yourself for a minute. I know that you and I've talked quite a few times, but I just want everyone out here to hear about Tim Boone straight from the man's mouth.
Well, not much here. 52-year-old man that loves coyote hunt. Used to be an avid deer hunter, but after I got into these coyotes, it's just the rush of that has kind of consumed me for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, man, there's nothing like it.
No, I like it.
when I'm sitting in my tree stand, I always just think, man, I wish I had brought a mouth call because this is boring.
Every time.
I just want to break
Every
out a
time.
mouth call because I just know for a fact if I would start blowing on old distress call, old Wiley come running up over the hill.
Well, if your luck was like mine, you would you'd scare away all the deers and call in coons or something.
Well, there's that. So Tim,
No.
tell me about your season this year. How's it going?
Pretty good. This year, I think we're up around somewhere around 150 coyotes for the year. A little bit behind last year, but it's we don't have a big population of them around here. So you either have to go west towards you guys or go south to really get into heavy populations of coyotes. But now we got some big deer here.
That's awesome. And I also was talking about bear before you called in.
Yeah. I mean, the wife seen 4 last night. We didn't go out hunting. We just went out riding around looking with thermal to see what we could see. And we seen four big bears last night, 2 coyotes, a bunch of deer. Thursday night we seen 10 bears. I
hate to cut in on you, man, but for everybody that's listening, when he's talking about seeing 4 burrs, those are actually bears. That's that Virginia slang out there, man. Burrs. I saw 4 burrs and 6 burrs.
That's right.
I love y'all's language, man. I'm definitely going to get in on that. Wes Cale and Zach Mitchell, some of our MLO guys from Virginia and West Virginia, they have the same thing. That Zach Mitchell.
Now Zach is he's north of me. He's so far north of me. He's almost considered a Yankee. So he's got a whole different slang.
No fighting words.
Hey, my wife's from Indiana. She says she's not a Yankee. She says she's a Flatlander.
That is true.
That's about right. I live out here in the Flatlands.
Yeah.
So you have bears coming out in your back porch and all that?
Yeah, we have quite a few. We got most of them named, but they when the corn's up here next to the house, you see them quite regular now. They're following the corn up and down the valley here. So whoever's still got corn stands got plenty of bears. And then, when they cut it, for 2 or 3 nights in a row or during the day, you can see them crossing the road going in and out of the cornfield. So there's no shortage of bears.
Right on, man. I was telling David, well, actually I was telling everyone and when I started to talk about you, I was talking about how a bear hunt is on my bucket list. It's not even just on the bottom. It's like number 1 on my bucket list. And I said that this man right here kind of talked like he might be able to make it become a reality for me. So,
yeah, all you got to do is come on. We'll put you up and show you a good time. If we got to spend every dollar you got.
Burrs,
yeah.
I love it. Burrs. Okay, man. I don't want to come down there and sound like a noob. I want to go down there and know what I'm talking about. So if I'm walking around saying, hey, you seen the bears, people are going to laugh at me.
Nah.
Hey, where's the Burrs? Hey, they're down on
Copperhead
Road.
Copperhead Road.
You've been hanging out in that damn Tim Boone.
Yep. They'll be like, yeah,
drinking
I know Tim
hand
Boone.
sanitizer.
That's awesome. So, Tim, I understand that you and I don't want to take your punchline. So, the other day when you and I were talking about hunting and you were saying that you were going to have a couple of kids come along, you have I'll let you say the Facebook request that you putting out there. Who are you asking for?
As far as taking them coyote hunting?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just I love to take kids out hunting. I try to at least once or twice a month take somebody coyote hunting that's never been, and I say kids, but these kids are 17, 18, 19 years old and never experienced it, and I don't know, I enjoy it. It's a rush to me every time I see one come in, so I enjoy taking other people.
Heck yeah.
And and I can see in you guys that you're about helping the kids too, and you're family oriented. So
yes, sir.
I think that's the way the industry needs to go. It needs to stop being, let me fill my pockets.
Yep.
Start passing along, do stuff for other people, especially kids. If we don't get our new generations into this, it's going to soon fade out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I sat in the tree stand this morning with my son, and he got a little squirmy after, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of only seeing a couple does. But it's all about, I mean, honestly, when it comes down to what David and I talked about when we first started talking about MLO, we always talked about including kids, and that's kind of what we wrap this whole thing around.
Yeah, that's what I love about Jason Brooks. He's it's always something for the kids, fundraisers or drives or giveaways or hunts or something, just to keep them interested, because everybody's gonna get like me one of these days. You have to have somebody help you drag a shit out of the woods.
See, that's where I was hoping you'd go, because I saw we were talking the other day, Tim, and you said you were looking for a dragger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell's a dragger, man? Am I missing something? He's like, well, I got to have somebody dragging these yotes out after I slay them.
That's right.
I kind of passed the point of wanting to shoot them all every time they come in. I enjoy seeing other people kill them. So, but if I do, we do shoot them. Most of the time, you can get to them with a vehicle to pick them up if there's not crops in the field or something. But I've had 2 heart attacks, so coyote hunting keeps me young, but I got to be careful too. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how many coyotes are you when you said you're down from last year? I mean, what's the cause of that? COVID?
It's that thing called work.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I guess last year we really went at them hard. Me and a couple other guys, so we really went hard at them last year. We ended up a little over 300, but this year I hadn't hunted, like I did then. I was hunting 3-4 nights a week last year. So after a while, you kind of get, I don't know, as corky as it sounds, you get to feel the air. You kind of know when it's going to be a bad night, So if you're out and they're not moving by 1 o'clock, come home and get some sleep,
Yep.
Hey, so just while we're talking about time, do you have like a magic hour? I feel like I do.
Well, 12 o'clock seems to be if they're going to turn on, if they're not turned on by, 10 o'clock around here, most of the time you get a little bit of better movement around midnight, but that seems to be my lucky hour, if there is such a thing. But I don't know. I don't know if barometric pressure changes or if it's just the simple fact that stuff gets quieter. People go to bed, take their dogs in, traffic stops, and they start moving, or what it is. But it seems like around midnight is like the magic time. So
that's awesome. So I was kind of thinking too, and you talk about the pressure a whole lot. So how much of your coyote hunting do you base on barometric pressure?
About 100% of it. I could be wrong, but just from when I first started getting really serious into it, I had sheets on my phone that I'd keep up with. My wife created them for me. I ain't smart enough to create them, but I could fill in the blanks. But so I'd kill a coyote. I would document temperature, what day of the year it was, barometric pressure, what time it was, the humidity, and everything. So the one common denominator in all of it seems to be the barometric pressure. So, if you get to watching that, you see cattle or deer, they're laying down. You can about bet the pressure's low and, things aren't moving. But, I mean, you can still kill coyotes. You just got to keep pecking at them and, hitting this spot, hit that spot, hit this spot till you get close enough to them that, they're going to move. If you get close enough to them, you can get them upset.
Yeah. So,
but as far as coyotes coming for half a mile to you, like in Florida somewhere, if the pressures and stuff ain't right, I don't think they move good.
I can see that. So, Wes Kale, he wants to know what barometric pressure, like what does he need to be looking for before he goes out? Just on the rise, that's
just
it?
An upward trend, yeah. like tonight is last night and tonight would have been great nights. I didn't go last night. We just rode around and looked. Me and the wife's kids were gone, so it was kind of a date night for us. So we just rode around and looked, but it was the barometric pressure was on a sharp upward trend, and I mean everything was moving. The coons was out, bears, the deer, coyotes just sitting in the field. So it's I don't know. I don't think there's a magic number. I think it just needs to be an upward trend.
Yeah. So I was sitting
It
here
seems
wondering.
like
I know a lot of guys will talk, and they have something they talk about when they coyote hunt is we've had a pack of such and such come in. So many. What's your biggest pack that's come in?
in Virginia here, I guess me and Anthony Smithers year before last in the Eastern had 6 blow in.
Oh yeah.
It was sleeting and snowing, and we walked back in this farm on the river and set up in a barn to get out of the sleet. And actually Anthony was calling, and he hit the howler, and he couldn't get back to the gun quick enough. They come over the hill, look like Superman, jumping brush piles.
Wow.
And we ended up getting 1 out of 6. It was crazy. I mean, they come in so close and they wouldn't stop moving. They were. It was kind of wild. So, but 6 is the most in Virginia that I've ever seen in one pack.
And out of that 6, how many walked away?
5.
He said he got
What? I want to make sure I didn't hear that wrong and that only 1 walked away.
No, it's they humiliated us. They like I said, we had 1 come in, and when they got in close enough that we thought we were ready, I barked at them, and the lead dog, he stopped, and one of us killed him, and there was a whole lot of brass hit the ground. The rest of them were running back and forth, but it was one of those spots that educates you. If we had waited and not shot at the running dogs, there was a big enough field to our left that they're going to stop. They're going to look back. So.
Yeah.
We would have killed more if we had just. But they kind of got us excited. We thought they was coming in the barn with us.
Yeah.
So, do you ever hunt a bait pile?
I've tried hunting bait piles. We get on some deer permits here for crop damage, and we killed deer and drag them off to the woods, and then go back and hunt them. And I really never had any luck much on them. You can go in and you can get the dogs they're there, and they'll blow up and answer you. But I think they are, they done got so fooled that they're just not interested in moving. I never have any luck. And of course, now we don't daytime hunt. So if a daytime hunt, it might be different set over a bait pile.
Yeah. I was also wondering, everybody has that one call that they go to, one sound. What's yours?
I'm going to howl 90% of the time, and that's probably where I have my best luck. From after I run a sequence of howls, then depending on the year, the time of year, it may be rabbit distress after that or pup distress. It really depends. But when the dogs are ready and moving, and you're willing to get coming after another pack of dogs. The howl most times is about all it takes.
So when you're talking about a howl, like, are we throwing out like an invitation howl or like a inquisitive howl or what? Help us out here, Tim.
Yeah, a lone howl, just a lone howl or invitation howl. Sometimes we'll howl at them, and then you'll get a challenge bark back or something. So, so then we'll challenge bark. But it's just, I was talking to one of the call manufacturers the other day, and we were talking about, well, what is an invitation howl? And that was my question to him. And he told me straight up, he said, nobody really knows. It's just we call it an invitation howl, but we really don't know what it is. And so it's not there's no secret to the howls. I think a lot of time it's just pitch because, we run we run electronic calls. And, you know, if we go to North Carolina, for example, we tournament before last, we went down there and we were using an electronic call and housed it. And we wasn't getting anything. I mean, we wasn't getting any dogs to answer. We wasn't getting any dogs to move. So we went to a mouth call. And it turned on just like you flip the switch. They'd answer, and then you could switch back to the electric call, and here they come. But getting them to initially respond to you, we couldn't get them to say anything with any kind of howls. You know, whether it be Lucky Duck or MFK, or they wouldn't say anything. So it's just, I don't know. Me and one of my buddies said one time that about the time you think you've got a coyote figured out, they're going to humble you. So I in no way claim to ever have figured them out, but keep at them enough that I have pretty good luck with them.
Right on. So you brought up Lucky Duck and MFK, so you didn't bring up Fox Pro and you didn't bring up Bostock or any of these other things. So I assume that's pretty much where you stay when it comes to your sounds. Tony Tebb stuff, maybe? No?
Yeah, I run some Tony Tebow stuff. Tony's got some James Bostock stuff. But for the most part, you know, and I'd be lying if I said anything different. But I'm about 95% Rick Paulette sounds on the Lucky Duck. He's just I've had better luck with his sounds than his calls. I mean, that's just
you know. I got to cut in here because I run a Fox Pro Shockwave, and
right.
I got on Fox Pro before Lucky Duck. I never even heard of Lucky Duck. Is that a new thing? I mean, I've heard of Lucky Duck now, but when I bought my Fox Pro, I never heard of Lucky Duck.
Right.
So I started with a Fox Pro Scorpion, and then, you know, I'm kind of sentimental to it. You know, I started with a Fox Pro. I wanted to stick with a Fox Pro.
Right.
My buddy, he's got a Lucky Duck. He started with the Roughneck. Had that for, I don't know, we hunted over it last season quite a bit, and then he graduated to a Revolt, and we've killed a lot of coyotes over that. And he's using Rick Paulette sounds, and I got to hand it to Rick Paulette because this dude, he must have that smoke howl. You use that a bunch?
I do. Smoke howl, that Suki howl.
Yep. Are those the names of his coyotes that he's filming them from, or where does that come from, that name?
I don't know. You know, his new chapter, he's got that Crippy Dog and Blondie, and, you know, so like I said, there's no magic thing. It's just kind of what sounds good to you that night, and then you know, and of course, once you get a dog to answer and come to you, that's what you're gonna stay with the rest of the night. So
right,
every time.
But, you know, I've got a bunch of Fox Pro stuff. I just recently bought an X24 off Tory Cook, and he loaded it up with the unreleased sounds, and I love it. I mean, it is a crisp, clear sound, and it's just I find myself picking up the Lucky Duck because I'm so used to the remote. Not that it's any better, but it's just what I'm used to. But I do like the X24 because it's got the barometric pressure on it, and so, you know, somebody believes in pressure, I can watch those pressures on the remote. So.
Yeah, and so my Shockwave, it talks pressure too, but I just need to spend a little bit more time and focus on that, because I'll be honest, when I go out to coyote hunt, I think about barometric pressure in the back of my mind, but, you know, you're Tim Boone, and I'm just Justin. So this is exactly like when we brought you in as our field staff, and we're like, man, this is a guy that we absolutely want to represent that Moonlightin Outdoors name. And I put in his intro that I said, we're going to start dropping some of this guy's tips and tricks out, and this is exactly the kind of stuff we're trying to pull from you. And, you know, there's 1,000 coyote hunters out there that are better than us, better than me and David. Yeah. I'm not going to say Tim Boone because, you know. No. But
there's a lot of them better than Tim Boone, too. I get lucky sometimes.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Anytime that somebody's doing something better than I am, I'm all about learning, and I want to know what's going on. And I'm not too proud to sit here in my chair and admit that. So,
right.
Tim, when we tell you that we appreciate having you here at Moonlightin Outdoors, dude, you don't even understand how much we do, because after deer season's over, dude, we're going to be saying, hey, the barometric pressure's blah, blah, blah. And we're going to be sitting with our backs to the bushes and it's not a full moon. And we're going to tell you, basically, just tell us what our sound sequence needs to be.
Tell us what to do.
And we'll just sit there in the chair and do what Tim says.
Well, you can ask Colt Leonard. Colt's a good friend of mine. He's out in Oklahoma right now filming for the Revival. But I'll tell you a quick story of how my and Colt's relationship started out. We were friends on Facebook, but had never met each other. And he hosted a tournament up in Hillsville, Virginia, where he lived. And me and a buddy of mine down here, we hunted it. And, of course, we went up and wore them out in it. But the whole time we're hunting, Colt's messaging me. What are you running? What are you running? Are you having any luck? And I said, yeah, we got X many dogs killed and whatever. Well, what are you running? So I said, woodpecker. And he said, yeah, really? I said, yeah, woodpecker, buddy. So next day we seen him at the check-in, and he's like, dude, I didn't have any luck. He said, I run woodpecker for 8 hours last night. I didn't have no luck. And I was like, dude, you cannot believe a word I tell you. If I'm hunting against you in a tournament, don't call me.
That's right. If we're going up against each other, we're competitors. We're not friends.
Yeah, I want to tell you to kick us.
I'm not going to help you.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you to use the door, run it back and forth, make it squeak. That's working right now. So
that's right.
No, I used to be like that, but now, I like to see everybody succeed. So I know you've seen it. I put posts out.
Oh yeah.
And people holler, and I go, and I do the same thing when they're with me as I do if I'm hunting a tournament somewhere. So it's I'm over the selfishness part of it, I guess.
Yeah, you get to that point in life where you get over the selfishness and you just want to help others succeed, like you have.
Yeah.
And
unless it's cold.
Yeah, unless it's cold. If just seeing someone else succeed's worth it. Used to, like you said, we'd be selfish and we'd say, man, I don't want him to do any better than me. I'm keeping all my tricks and trades to myself. But now it's like I am that way with deer hunting too. I'll help people out with deer hunting. And so will Drew, our camera guy and IT guy, he helps people out with deer hunting, any questions they got. And you seem to be the same when it comes to coyote hunting as well.
Well, I didn't think there's any tricks to deer hunting. I thought you didn't have to be tougher than you was smart.
Yeah, that's about it. Just
sit there
as long as you sit out there for a while.
Yeah.
Good pair of insulated bibs, and you're good to go.
Yeah, coyote hunting, you got to figure it out. See, 8 to 10 minutes on the stand, you're back in the truck in the heater.
That's it. That's why I love coyote hunting. You go out there and you freeze for just a second, and then you get back in the truck, go to the next one.
Yeah, if you get too cold, so you don't have to say you're cold. You just tell whoever's with you, look, I think this is a bad zone wind. The elevation's too high. I think barometric pressure's wrong. We need to run about 30 minutes to the next stand. And that gives you time to get warm, see.
Yeah. I got to admit, man, I had to get up and pee. I was drinking too many of these left-handed drinks, and so I had to leave the building. So if you told David any of your secrets without me knowing, I'm going to be pretty upset. I'm going to actually go back and watch this here in a minute.
Well, maybe he'll fill you in on some of this stuff.
Nope, it's all mine. Remember that selfishness? It's back. It's back, brother.
Hey, so you're talking about the barometric pressures. Thursday night we went out. We took off here, I don't know, about 9 o'clock, me and a couple of buddies, Floyd. And the barometric pressure, mine, I run it PSI, so it was 1450 PSI, and that was at 8:30. And we didn't see anything. I mean, well, we did. We seen one over here, and we landed on him. We dropped in within 100 yards of him, got him upset. He was coming, and I guess it woke the farm hand up that looks after the farm, because he come out on the porch and shot him there with a shotgun, thinking the coyote was in chickens, and run him off. So we didn't get him, but anyway, so we didn't help him out much. He didn't help himself out, but the pressure was 1450. Well, the next morning, the pressure started rising, and this evening, it got up to almost 15 psi.
Oh yeah.
And then, so now, but it's dropped back down. It's starting back down now to 1480. Even that slight drop, I think it would shut things down. I mean, you still kill coyote, but they're not going to just blow in, every stand when you hit the call. They're not going to answer. They're not going to run. And that's just my opinion, but I think it has a whole lot to do with it. So I've been a barometric pressure believer for a long time.
So
my best friend,
when
I'd always keep on the porch. I'd keep a gauge on the porch so I could see it when I was deer hunting, watch the pressure.
When you're measuring, when you're watching this barometric pressure, is there a specific app you use, or just your local weather app, or what?
No, I downloaded an app. It's just called a barometer off of the app store.
Gotcha.
And then you just start a trend on it, and I watch it. But like I said, you still kill coyotes, but I think if you watch it, you'll get like me. You kind of stay home some nights when it's going to be real bad. But it always seems like it's better a couple of days before a front comes in, or a couple of days afterwards. And I think that's because of the pressures.
Yeah. What about full moon? What about moon phases?
To be honest with you, I don't pay any attention to moon phase, and I don't pay any attention to wind.
Okay. So you don't care if the wind's blowing straight towards where you suspect that they're going to come from?
Nah, I used to, I'd walk myself to death trying to get the wind in my favor, but, there's going to be a lot of people out there think that guy's an idiot, but, I'm a firm believer that when coyotes are ready to come to that call, when they're in that mood, they don't care. They coming. They may circle you. They may try to get downwind of you, but they're coming. We watched enough of them here off of these cliffs and stuff, calling them on rivers and stuff. And we watched coyotes go a mile trying to get around you to get downwind of you, but we've had just as many blow straight into the wind, just run right in on you. Trick is to kill him before he does smell you. So, that's why we hunt open fields. We don't hunt, like Tory Cook with MFK. He hunts a lot in that brush. So, yeah, he's got to play the wind because, them dogs is getting close on him. So, but, hunting at night like we hunt with the thermal and stuff, and, in 400 or 500 acre fields, that coyote's going to get close enough to you. It don't make no difference what the wind's doing. You all do kill him.
Right. And so once you
Ryan
Higgins
told me the year after he won the Eastern, he said he don't pass up a good stand no matter which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah. I'm so torn on that. I'm so torn on playing the wind because I've had coyotes bust me. They've come in way out there. I can't even tell you. I'd say 600-800 yards. I felt like I had coyotes bust me before.
Well, now we have. I mean, I'm not saying it don't happen, but when they get hot, they're coming. And we've had dogs busted for the wind. Of course, we've had dogs busted for being, backlit with the moon and stuff. But
right.
But chances are, if they like what they hear, they come, regardless. No wind to kill. To get close enough to be killed anyway. So.
Is there a particular time of the season when, and I know that a lot of coyote hunters, especially new guys, they're always going to be coming to us saying, what sounds do we use? It's almost like they predominantly think that the only thing that matters to coyote hunting is just the sounds that you're using. There's a lot that goes into that, but nobody know more than Tim Boone, exactly. You know what I mean?
I find myself asking Rick Paulette and Tory Cook and Ryan Higgins, some of the others, a lot of questions sometimes. I'm like, dude, I've been out for a week and, I'm second guessing myself what the hell's going on. And,
right.
It's just in a lull, stuff's not moving or whatever. Go back to what you know. But it's like, coyotes are like, well, Tory Cook explained to me one time, when them puppies, when they lose their teeth and start getting their adult teeth in, their whole attitude changes, So, kind of knowing about when the pups are getting kicked out and, establishing new territory and they've got their teeth, yeah, they're going to be chasing that rabbit a little better. But before then, they're counting on mama to bring it to them. It's like the rut, when the velvet comes off here, the deer change. They're not buddies anymore. Their territories change. It's just follow the seasons. I hunt year round. A lot of these guys don't just start coyote hunting in the winter, but I hunt year round simply because we got a bounty on them. But it's
So wait a minute, you have a bounty on them currently?
yeah,
And how much is that?
35 a dog.
You're kidding me. How do we get in
No.
on that? Can we send them to you from Indiana?
Yeah.
Split the difference?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's cool. $35, man. Hell, the fur market here is like $6.
Yeah, now the bounty works out pretty good. Of course, the lady at the landfill, she makes fun of me if I don't come in with but one or two. She makes fun of me. So
Yeah.
So you have to eat some crow sometimes if you don't do very good.
Sure. So Tim, how do you feel, in your honest opinion? I know that you're actually the host of the Eastern this year, which is a big deal. But how do you honestly feel about coyote derbies? Do you think that, because there's a lot of mixed review out here. There's a lot of people that believe that they're an awesome thing. There's people that say that they think that they're educating a lot of coyotes, new hunters out into the field, which I'm all about having new hunters come out in the field. But just talk about how you feel about the coyote tournament industry.
I love the tournaments. I've met, win, lose, or draw. I go to check-in, and I've met a lot of really good people at check-ins. Learn a lot from different people. It's just it's like I don't know about where you're at, but here now you don't even have to take a deer to the store to check it in. You can call it on your phone, check your deer in on your phone. I think that took the social part out of hunting. We used to kill a deer. We'd take it to the country store, get a hot dog, Dr. Pepper, and meet other hunters and talk about our experiences. And to me, that's what was great about deer season. Same with opening day of trout season. Trout season's open all year long here now. So it used to not be. We had an opening day, and you go to the river, and there'd be 1,000 vehicles parked for miles. People standing on the bank waiting on 12 o'clock to come so they could throw the line in the water. But between 8 o'clock that morning when you got there and 12, you socialized. You talk to people. You got to know your neighbors.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of the tournament. The biggest part is for that reason. Just getting to meet the people, get to do a little BSing with your neighbors and friends that you normally don't see other on Fastest Book, and just I don't know. So I'm a fan of it. I know that some could have a little more respect when it comes to how they dispose of their dogs. And it's been there's been a few tournaments where people throw them over bridges in the creek and stuff, and of course, none of us that are big into the sport are fans of that type of behavior. So, dispose of them right. Even if it's a brush pile on your own land, but don't throw them over in the creek or something. So, especially with kill blocks in there now.
Right. So, there's not a whole lot that I can think about right now other than the whole tournament circuit, since that's kind of what the topic that we're on. So I'm going to ask you something here. After a tournament, what does that do to hunting in your local area? Do you feel like there's kind of in a null for the next couple of weeks after a big derby, or no change?
Nah.
Okay.
There's, most everybody's got their own ground they hunt, and you'll go in there, and if you wipe out the whole pack of dogs on a farm, next week there's going to be another group of dogs or another. If you kill the alpha male out of the pack, the next dog's going to, the next 2 or 3 males in a line are going to step up and try to take that pack. So, they're going to fight. They're going to split up. 2 of them's going to go over here. 2 of them's going to go over there. So I really don't see any difference in it. We have days here where we went a month and not seen or heard a dog, and there wasn't any tournament. So it's just but I don't think tournaments bother, other people's ground as far as hunting them. I know I mentioned Ryan Higgins. I know, he runs Salwega Predator Ventures. He does the hog hunts and stuff. It's a great time to go down to Georgia and go with him. But he'll take you hog hunting over top of his eastern ground, and they'll kill coyotes, let you kill coyotes if the hogs are slow. And they won the eastern 2 years in a row on the same ground. So
what 2 years? What 2 years did he win?
He didn't hunt last year. His partner did, but he hunted the year before last and won the eastern. And last year his partner won the eastern. Colt they were having
Colt
kid or something. His partner was Chris. My mind just went blank.
Colt is a Milton or something. I can't remember.
Milton, yeah, Colt Milton.
Colt Milton,
Chris,
yeah.
They that team. Let's say that team. They've won it 2 years in a row, and like I said, they do hog hunts over it every weekend. And then if the hogs are slow, he'll set coyote a call out and call in the customers a coyote to kill.
Right.
Me and my daughter down. We killed 27 in 2 nights with him and 9 coyotes. The same year he won the eastern on that ground. So I don't. You're not going to kill them all.
Right. So just want to talk to you for a minute about the eastern. So
yeah. Tell
me how the eastern works. I know that there's the eastern, and then I assume there's a western. Is that right?
There used to be a western, and not.
No
they
longer.
didn't do it.
Okay.
So the only big tournament is the eastern, and the guy that was running it for the last several years, he lost his venue. They not any fault of his, but they'd promised him the venue for this year, and then they ended up scheduling a gun show the same day. So they wanted to charge, hundreds of people coming back for the coyote tournament, the entry fees to get in. And of course, 400 or 500 dead coyotes in there with all these other people wasn't gonna jive. So
yeah.
Then the COVID scare was part of it too, I guess. So he, in his better judgment, he decided not to have it. So I reached out to Jason and I said, look, I've got a venue. You care if I run with it? And then Jason said, no, sir, you run with it. He said, I'll help you. We'll get it out there and go with it if you got a venue. So
yeah, it's Jason Gross close.
Yeah, he's the one that's run the Eastern the last several years. Great guy.
Yeah.
But so I reached out to Canal Valley Arena, and they said absolutely. Come on. So and it'll be a good place for a venue. They got food. They got a motel there. It's a Western town. It's a privately owned Western town. So what better spot for a bunch of hunters to gather up?
Yeah, right on. Well, man, I appreciate having you on tonight, Tim. And is there anything that let me ask you one question. I think this is going to be important, coming from Tim Boone. And Tim, I'm only throwing you out there like this because out of all the guys that we've got on Moonlightin Outdoors, and I'm not calling you old by no means,
yeah.
But I am going to say that you're probably the most seniored. You have the most seniority. Seasoned. That's the word I'm looking for. Seasoned.
Salt and pepper.
So tell me this. What is the number one most common mistake that you think a newbie makes in the coyote hunting industry?
Clip dump.
Say it again.
Clip dump.
Clip dump. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't shoot at running dogs. Took me a long time. Took me years and years and years to ever discipline myself to stop shooting at running dogs. Yeah, you're going to get one once in a while, but that's what I tell everybody now. Don't shoot at running dogs. He's going to stop. It might be 200 yards. It might be 300 yards. He is going to stop, and you can kill him. But if you shoot at him 30 times while he's running, number one, you're going to piss the neighbors off. You're probably going to lose your spot sooner or later unless you're running suppressed.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that coyote's going to write down your tag, the VIN number, and
yeah,
you ain't never seen him again.
And I'm assuming that Virginia is a lot like Indiana. And so what we're doing is when I hunt with an AR sometimes. I prefer my Bolt 22 250. But I will hunt with an AR sometimes where that second shot will come pretty quick. But out here, I'll be honest, I would be scared to just start cracking loose on a running coyote because, man, we have houses. We're in, you called it earlier when you said the flatlands. That's exactly what we have going on out here. And so, you know, one bad shot that would hit somebody's garage or the back of their car, or you never know. So I think that's solid advice, Tim. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, here we're different. You know, we you know, wherever you hunt here, you got a mountain in front of you somewhere, but there's still a lot of houses, people moving in every day. So, you know, that's the biggest thing with anything, deer hunting, turkey hunting, anything. Just, you know, have some respect for your surroundings, the people around you. Don't get a bad name for other hunters, and with coyote hunting, like I said, you know, if you miss him, you know, 3, 4, 5 times, scare the bejesus out of him, you ain't gonna see that dog again. You have to play that game. You have to play that game called Nobody's Home. That's where you take a lounge chair and go out there and just sit in the field and don't make a sound, no calls or nothing, and wait till he passes through to kill him. So
yeah, that's tough hunting there.
yeah.
That's tough hunting.
Yeah.
No, I like to hunt over a bait pile sometimes. I think it's a lot of fun. And
never have. You know, we have the deer. You know, when we take deer on permits, but never have. And do you do it during the day?
No, only at nighttime. I've never had any luck at all hunting over a bait pile in the daylight.
Really?
Not at all.
No.
Well,
always at night.
Always at night.
We probably didn't do it right. You know, when we knew we had bait there, we didn't try to get into where we could see it. You know, we set up 200 or 300 yards out and try to call them off of it. And you know, that's, you know, there again. Daddy always told me a man's like an apple. When he, you know, begins to think he knows everything, he starts to rot. So,
yeah.
But you know, maybe that's what we should have done, was got into where we could see it.
Yeah.
And call them coming into it. It'd probably be fun.
It is a lot of fun, you know, and I feel like the hunt's way more intense when you're using a call, especially a mouth call, and you're calling them in with your own yep. sequence, you know, whatever. And David and I, we've done this, but when you're calling them in with a mouth call and you watch them come in, and you can see them way out there charging in on you,
get excited,
man. That's so intense.
And to know that the call that you just done, that nobody could replicate, nor yourself could replicate it again. Yeah. You just outsmarted that coyote.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, it's also fun sitting there hunting over a bait pile. You know, we love to set out a pile of dead pigs and just wait and see what happens. And we set a trail camera over them, and we can kind of monitor how often they're coming in.
The activity on them, and
yep.
see what they're doing and know when they're hitting it.
Well,
what times.
We poor here in Virginia. We can't afford those cameras and stuff here in Virginia.
Never mind.
Don't go there.
Yeah, I won't go there. I won't mention Copperhead Road.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Call sequence. You mentioned that earlier, and I didn't give you a complete straight answer. But right now, I'm doing a short house sequence, and then I'm going to fight. And fights and pup distress. Things be working real good.
So, do you have that Tony Tebb den raid?
I do have Tony Tebb den raid.
Yep.
But I also have Chapter 3 of Rick Paulette. So the Scrappy Pup's been working pretty good for me.
And see, I don't, on my Fox Pro, I wish that Rick Paulette would come out with, you know, being able to let me have his sounds on my Fox Pro. Because I love Rick Paulette's stuff. I love the Smoke Howl. I love the Sioux Howl. I love what he's got going on over there. I just really wish that I could have that on my Fox Pro, because I don't want to have to go out and buy a Lucky Duck just to have Rick Paulette sounds. But I'll be honest, he's got it going on.
Yeah, and I wish the whole industry would share, and I don't think it's so much as their calls, because you're still going to buy that sound, but
right.
It's the makers of these calls, you know, and of course Rick, you know, Fox Pro, you know, like they run, you know, MFKs with them. MFK's not making the calls, so Fox Pros, you know, they're controlling what goes on theirs, and yeah, it'd be nice if they were all interchangeable, and you know, and you could swap back and forth, because no two calls sounds the same.
Nope.
So
right.
you know, people are you're gonna change up. I do. I change up. I got about 7 calls here, and and I still got an old Spitfire Fox Pro, so sometimes I'll throw it out there just because I know it's got a different pitch to it,
Right.
something they hadn't heard. So, but
Right.
I do think that that if you use the same call, no matter what sound you're running, the same calls over and over and over, then those coyotes get used to that. So I do switch around. There's only one manufacturer that I won't use, and I'm not going to mention that online here on air. So, but but
text us later.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not because it's a bad call. Don't get me wrong. It's not because it's a bad call. It's just Tory Cook, Rick Paulette, people like Jason Brooks and Sniper Hogg. You call them, or text them, they're going to answer you, and they're polite. They're going to try to help you. If you have trouble downloading sounds, any of them will help you. Rick or Tory, or they're just great people. But sometimes companies don't pick the best people to represent them, and I think it hurts them.
So, Tim, I'm going to ask you this, and then I'm going to let you go just so we don't drag this out too long. But do you have any experience with? So I know that you've used Lucky Duck, right? That's what you're using now, the Revolt, I assume.
I've got a Revolt, a Roughneck, and a Revolution.
Okay, I got you. I see how Tim Boone's rolling. So I assume you're running thermal, because I know you're running thermal.
I run thermal and night vision, yeah.
Okay. So you're running thermal and night vision, and you're running a Lucky Duck.
Yeah.
And what kind of rifle are you shooting? Because I was asked that in our live feed here. Somebody wanted to know what kind of call, what kind of rifle.
I run a DNA 243 with a proof barrel.
Okay, 243.
Yeah.
So there you go, Wes Cale. He's running a 243.
Yeah, running a proof barrel with a 1 in 10 twist, which lets me get, I can shoot some light stuff, some fast stuff, pushing, 3,800 foot a second now with 243. I run night ops ammo, so Heath Porter, he built some great ammo. It's hard to get right now, but you can't beat his ammo.
There's a guy that turned me on to that night ops ammo, and I bought several boxes of it. And his name is Chad Judy. You ever heard that name?
I have.
Okay, Chad's passed away, man, but I got to know Chad pretty well. We were Facebook friends, and I hunted a derby. I met him at a derby. We talked a little bit, and I got to know him real well, and missed the guy. And I'm telling you what, this guy, every single day, he had me, honestly, seriously, I would laugh out loud at his Facebook posts. He was so hilarious. And I don't know. I just miss Chad Judy, but I just wanted to throw his name out there since we were talking night ops. I need to bring his hunting partner on sometime and talk to him. Gail Combs.
That'd be great.
They were good buddies, and they were best friends, I think, the two of them, and hunting buddies. But yeah, night ops ammo. So that's what you're using, huh?
Yeah. Well, I do some reloading myself too, but when I tournament hunt, you can bet I'm carrying night ops. For pleasure hunting, I shoot my reloads, but I trust Heath better than I do myself.
There you go. So
and my
Tim,
daughter,
go ahead.
My daughter's a DNA 22 nozzler, so so it's and that's if I take somebody, most times that's what I put them on is that 22 nozzler with the Trigicon on it, and if it's even not shooting at night, not being able to judge the distance, most times they connect. So
yeah,
shout out to Tom Casey.
Wes Cale, he was just talking to me last night about trying to switch his AR platform over to the 22 nozzler, and I was looking at the ballistics, I don't know, a few months ago, and they're right on with the 22 250.
Yeah, they're screaming.
That's wicked.
Yeah, and it's light. That's the thing. When Sean does a good job. I mean, even my AR-10, it was around 8 pounds. So it's not real heavy, especially for an old man.
Right. So Tim, I'm gonna turn this over to David for a minute and let him kind of go through some closing stuff with you, see if he's got any last minute questions and all that. and then
All
we're
right,
gonna set you free so you can go to bed. You probably got coyotes to kill in the morning.
All right, I'm gonna go hunting here just a little bit.
There you go. You've been waiting. You just hurry up and get this over with, Ham. I'm trying to.
I really do not have anything else, honestly, because Justin Ham's long-winded, and
Yeah, well,
he asked the good
more
questions.
pictures than stop.
When you got a good partner, he already knows what you're thinking anyway, so he asks all the questions that you're thinking. So
It's mind voodoo, man.
it is. We're connected.
Hey, after we seen the pictures of them socks you had on, I'm sure Justin had a lot of questions.
Yeah, he did. He did. We won't go into them.
I'm still feeling uncomfortable.
Are you?
Oh,
Yeah, are you gonna
man.
Bait pile?
What's that?
Are you gonna hunt St. Bait pile with him, Justin?
Oh, I don't. I'm gonna put him 100 yards on the other side of the bait pile. You know.
In a different county.
No, man,
Right.
that's awesome. No,
we like
I've
to have
hunted,
fun, man.
I've hunted over a bait pile with David. I remember last winter it was real cold.
Real cold. This is one of the coldest nights of the year.
And David was just. I really, I'll be honest, I didn't want to go hunting, but
I
David
stayed
did.
warm.
And David's like, man, I just really want to go hunting tonight, and so I made that sacrifice for him.
I had my new hand warmers, and I stayed warm all night.
So when you're hunting a bait pile now, you're talking about wind direction. Which way do you hunt a bait pile? Upwind or downwind?
It just any wind except for straight downwind.
And it really doesn't matter at that either, because we usually set up a blind,
Yeah.
so the wind just cuts around us anyway. So
Yeah.
and the blind stays there, so
All right.
it just doesn't matter. I mean, the bait's your call. I mean, you use it as your call. You just sit there and chill out and
See what happens.
see what happens.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to pick up some roadkill and try that. But my brain is set on 10 minutes. I blow into a stand and I don't stay there more than 10 minutes, and I'm gone, and I leave it the same way I come in, quiet as I can.
So when you go call, that's what you do, is a 10-minute stand?
8 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Quick work.
Yep.
Quick work. Tim Boone's quick work.
That means Tim Boone has a lot of connections out there in Virginia. That's what that means.
We've heard anything from, 8 to 10 to an hour
Yeah.
or
There's-
more.
Everybody has their own opinion. And, you
Yeah.
know, we've also heard you don't play the win. We've heard you do play the win. Everybody's
Right.
got their own opinion, and I'll tell you,
None of them's wrong.
no, none of them's wrong. It's all about what works for you.
What works for you and the mood that coyote's in. But
Yep.
the one thing I think about short stands is that, I always believe that no matter where you set up, a coyote can hear you. So if he doesn't come in 8 to 10 minutes, my theory is you spend the next 45 minutes educating him.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. Agree.
Well, all right, bro. Y'all be good, and
We appreciate you.
Hope you get taken tomorrow. Good deer, Dale.
Hey, thank you, sir.
And we're gonna talk about David's deer as soon as we hang up with you.
Yeah. So,
Hey,
Yep,
Tim,
that's it.
send me pictures of all those kills tonight. All right, buddy.
if I go out,
Get me a
If
black
not,
one.
What do you mean
Picture of my-
if? You get your butt out there, man. Have a good time.
Get me a black one.
All right, bro.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
Bye.
So, Tim, we just got two things from him. One is barometric pressure. Okay. And I'll tell you, I love Tim. I'm not sure about the wind. So if you guys would all go in and comment on this comment on this and let us know what you think about hunting the wind, because I know that's important to a lot of people.
I'm following Tim Boone.
Dude, I'm not saying Tim's wrong.
300 coyotes.
Yeah, I'm not saying Tim's wrong, man, but I'm telling you, it just kind of feels weird to go in with no regards to the wind. I would just feel like I would be educating a coyote. That's just me.
I don't know.
David doesn't care about the wind.
I wouldn't care.
So Tim, I mean, like I said, Tim's
I'm like
more,
him. If they're hungry, or if
they're gonna come.
they're horny, you play into their stomach or their groin, you're going to get them.
Well, it's whatever, man. So he says, Hunt Ready says, I always play the wind, always hunt the wind. And he also, this Hunt Ready guy on here,
He was on here last time.
he hunts 35 to 40 minute stands. 35 to 40 minutes. That's not the 8 to 10 that.
No.
So
I think it all depends on your where you are as well,
yeah.
your location.
And I know that Hunt Ready's in Illinois.
I was getting ready to ask. Yeah, I remember he's from
Yeah.
Illinois. So that's pretty much Indiana. Indiana's twin.
Yeah.
Boring state, flat, cornfields, bean fields.
I don't feel like they have the population density, though.
No.
At least where I was, my experience with Illinois is bigger bucks outfitters, and there was not the population density that we have around here. So,
Nope.
the same terrain, just a lot less houses.
Yep. A lot less houses.
So, guys, I do, before it says 10-minute stands when I got the kids with me. Yeah, make that about an 8-minute stand. I get it, man. So, before we get off here, this is Halloween 2020, and it's only 10:44. It feels late as heck, man.
It does. We could go till midnight. It's Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween. So it feels really late, but it's only 10:44. But anyways, David Dale is the man of the day. This guy shot an extremely nice buck, and I gotta bring him in and talk about that. I know this was supposed to be about Tim Boone today, but I'm real proud of David. He really did a good job taking a really nice buck. He got a nice shot on it, hit it through both lungs. And I bet you your buck's going to score 130 inches. And I'm telling you, with the way the EHD has smoked our herd and different things like that,
Yeah.
that's
Justin and I really had a hard last 2 years with deer population. Yeah. We hunted out there at his family farm, his dad's farm, for quite a while, and had really good caliber bucks out there that we'd see. And I shot one that we named, or Justin named, Old Faithful, and it was just, I'll probably never ever shoot one that big again. It was a big 8 that scored 143.
Yeah.
And I'll never shoot one that big again. But after I shot that buck, 5 minutes later, I seen one bigger than him in the field next to it. And then that next spring, we started getting hit with EHD, dead bucks, dead deer everywhere.
I'm honestly, dude, I'm glad that you took Old Faithful when you did, because if
he'd have been wasted.
Yeah, if you didn't take Old Faithful and I didn't, then he'd be laying in Blue River somewhere, passed away, man. And that dude is a legend, and he got that name because I could guarantee you every time I check my trail cams that I would have a picture of Old Faithful on there. So he was a pretty special buck to us.
But we went 2 years with having maybe 2 picks of little 6-pointers. And this year we maybe had 1 pick of a 6-point, if that. Mm-hmm. Just haven't had it. So I found a new place that I go closer to my house. And this year I got a bad left arm, so I got a crossbow, and I thought I'll go out after hearing B.J. Gorman's story of his buck. He got the fire started back in me for deer hunting again. Thank you, B.J. My wife don't thank you, but I do. Mm-hmm. So I went out this morning. I laid in bed. I wasn't going to go. And then I started thinking about, man, I've never shot a Halloween buck. So I got out there today, and as soon as I sat down, I cocked that crossbow and looked over to my left, and 20 yards away was a doe, and she took off across the field, snorted probably 50 times, and I thought, this hunt's done. I about went home. 15 minutes later, that's when all the bucks and does came. I bet you I had 4 or 5 different bucks and 4 or 5 different does out in that field. And the bigger one of the bucks, he came within probably 70, 80 yards, and I grunted at him to see what he'd do, and he did not like that. He came right towards my stand trying to see who was there to try to run him out, and he was going by so fast I had to like yell at him. I was like, I did the old bah, bah, real loud. And
how'd you go again?
I did the bat. It wasn't the Ramsey bat.
Daddy. That's what he said, yeah.
Daddy. But I got him to stop probably about 30 yards. And I hit him and double lunged him and watched him run through the CRP, and I never saw him come out the other side, so I knew he was down. And those other bucks just kept running around, and the does were around, and I knew he was down, so I just waited an hour and found him. And well, you can see the pics on our main page, Moonlightin Outdoors.
Yeah. So guys, that's going to be a wrap for tonight. I don't want to drag this out any longer than I need to, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for following Moonlightin Outdoors. We love you. David Dale, I'm proud of you, dude. You really knocked it out of the park today. Hopefully I can have one of these talks about me one day.
One day.
And until then, it's all about David Dale.
That's
so
right.
he did a good job. Wes Kale's throwing you a holler out here. He's saying heck of a buck, brother. So
Thanks, buddy.
we all love you, man. And
I wanted to yell at that Kennedy Smith. If he wanted to put his number up there, we'll or get a hold of us on Moonlightin Outdoor page. Private messages. Give us your number, and we'll contact you one day and call you and talk to you on the podcast.
Kennedy, he's wanting to know. He's wanting to know all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we'll talk to him.
I seen all them questions coming up from him. Thought I'd let him know that we seen him, and
we'll address him.
Yeah,
we'll address him.
So,
all right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Moonlightin Outdoors. Had a good time with you tonight. It's Halloween 2020. David Dale, man of the day. Tim Boone, we love you, dude.